What's going on, Garage Gang? Matt from GarageMC here. Guys, you are watching video slash day number 1 of a video a day series that we're going to be doing building this ATC350X. Kind of in a rush to build it. Today is June, I'll tell you in a second. July 11th. This bike has to be built by the end of July, and I don't even have the frame back from powder coat yet, but we got a lot of work to do. Didn't know how I was going to film this for you guys, but it's going to be a very basic video, a video a day until this thing is completely built. And great news, if you're watching this video, part 1, guess what? This bike is already done. Watch this whole build day by day. I hope it's fun for you. I think it'll be fun for me. Plus, it's the only way I could actually film this and not make it take way too long. Let's get it. So this is where we're going to be starting, guys. I want to get the whole front end. Right now I'm prepping all the parts. I have all my OEM parts bag tagged, separated, hardware, everything. So what I want to do is I want to get all these parts sandblasted and ready for powder coat. So these are all the items that are going to be going. I'm trying to do it in order by what color they're all going. So all of these parts are going to be going the polished aluminum powder coat. And if you don't know what color I'm talking about, we did the front fork. This here, this is powder coat. This is polished aluminum. I think it's going to look sick. I'm also going to do the wheels. These two I did not touch yet. There's one out here that I already sandblasted and filed out some of the scratches that were in the lip of the wheel. This way, when it gets powder coated, it looks nice and new. We got the Serwa reproduction ATC350R tires going on this. If you don't know what they look like, this is the ATC350R repop tires by Serwa. Say Pro Vector on them and everything. Said in a video before, I didn't want to run the OEM reproduction 350X tires because they're 22-inch for the first starters. Second off, they're not available yet, but they will be soon from Serwa. I am going to continue prepping these parts. I have the lower triple tree to the forks. Right now I am on the buffing wheel and I'm getting rid of some casting marks and just smoothing stuff out. I got rid of the two-way tape where the Honda stick emblem was, which we also have a new one of from Vintage Motorsports. So, alright. This video series is going to be a vlog style, guys. I don't have the time to do how-tos and everything. I'm basically just taking you along with me for the journey. These will be short videos. Is it going to be 20 of them, 30 of them? I don't know. We only have time for it to be about 20 of them, so we'll see. Definitely don't want to take a trike that's 80% done to this old trike event, the Trike-a-Palooza, I believe he dubbed it. So, all right. I'm going to finish buffing that out and prepping some parts, and I will just pick up with you guys here and there and show you where we're at. So after a ride on the buff wheel, I didn't want to remove the casting marks like completely, even though it would kind of look cool. I pretty much just took down all the sharp edges, like where the factory tapped the bolt holes in and everything. There were some sharp edges. I took all that down. Before I did that, though, I threw it in the vapor blaster, and not to like vapor blast the aluminum, but to clean up the stem here. So I wanted to get all the threads nice and clean, and that's before I tape it off. I'm not going to tape the bottom off. I will, however, put a plug in the top, and I'm going to tape off the whole steering stem shaft. Just, you know, because I don't want to get powder coat on that. Plus, the tolerances where, like, the bearings and everything slide onto are very tight. It took me, like, a half hour to bang this old stuff off of here. So why didn't I vapor blast this after I powder coated or sandblasted everything? Mainly because the sandblasting, after I do that, and then if I was to throw it in the vapor blaster, like after, it would make the roughness that I'm looking for out of the sandblaster too smooth. It would come out even shinier than that. So that's not good for powder coat. When you're powder coating something, you really want like a nice rough texture to it. This way the powder coat has something to hold on to. Actually, here, I'll show you the difference with the texture real quick. So this is sandblasted. You can see like actually, as a matter of fact, I should probably throw that in the buffing wheel and then sandblast it again and get those couple scratches out, because that will be, yeah, you will see that side of the fork. But vapor blasting would give it like this sheen, and that's no good for powder coat to stick to. So you definitely want all that stuff. I think they call it like a something tooth, like hound's tooth texture or something like that. It just gives the powder coat something to hold on to and bite into. We got the little clamp for the front axle. These are the clamps for the handlebars, which I might go to fat bars with risers on this. Not sure yet, but you know, since we're going to be doing all of our polished aluminum powder coat today, which at least is the goal. I don't know if we'll actually have time to get the wheels done too. I'm actually deciding on whether or not I should just do the front wheel or just order 3 wheels and be done with it. But I don't know, man. I kind of like to know that I did all the work myself, you know, and if we could save parts and save money in exchange just for some labor, you know, that's a little better off, because I'm probably going to have more in this bike than I could sell it for. You know, typical stuff that happens. You know, it just is what it is. I didn't total it up, but just like off the top of my head, I'm probably going to be around 10 grand into this bike. So, but it's going to be one of the nicer 350Xs. I was going to go nuts and do like a whole OEM build, but you're talking probably double what I have into it just to have a completely stock bike, you know, like, which would be cool if I was going to like collect it and not ride it. I plan on riding this stuff, guys. When it's done, yes, it will be for sale. Every bike that I build is always for sale. Everything always has a price. So anyway, all right, let me get back to work, guys. I'm going to tape this off, you know, put silicone plugs in anywhere that I don't want the threads to get sandblasted, and I'm going to sandblast this, and then we'll pick back up and we'll start setting up for some powder coat. At least that's the plan. Alright guys, so we have all of our parts that are going to go polished aluminum, all sandblasted. Here's that triple tree that we were just looking at. That's all ready to go. So now what I'm doing is I'm going through all the other boxes of stuff that I have. I want to make sure there's nothing that I forget that's got to go polished aluminum. And while I'm doing that, I also want to separate anything for tomorrow's video, which, if you guys didn't understand what I was saying, I'm going to film everything I do every day while I'm building this, and it's going to be a video a day. So whatever I film today, I will upload to my editing software, edit it, and it'll be stored on my YouTube app. And then when this bike is done, I will start releasing them, starting with today, day 1, then the next day, day 2, day 3, and so on and so forth, for however many days that ends up being. Like I said, hopefully 20 or less. A lot of stuff to do. But, yeah, so I'm going through all these bags of parts and figuring out what else is going to go a certain color. Like, these are all the lines for the front brakes. Like, just to give you guys a little, like, I mean, look at this, man. This is what I'm dealing with here, you know? So there's the color for tomorrow is going to be either I'm going to do black chrome for the stuff that would normally be like the hubs would be like a charcoal gray or a dark gray on this bike. So I'm kind of doing like a twist of the factory colors. Here's the front brake caliper. This is going to go black, but I didn't even touch that one yet. I did, however, rebuild the rear brake caliper, which is right there, and this is all the whole caliper is rebuilt and everything is powder coated. That's all powder coat on there. So I kind of went overboard redoing the brake caliper, because now I got to do it to the front as well. A lot of damn work. This was like a whole day just redoing that and rebuilding it. It's all new seals and everything. Shindy rebuild kit, so Japanese parts, nothing Chinese going on this bike. Obviously, other than the axle is obviously Chinese. The carrier is probably Chinese. Not a fan of Chinese stuff, man. But there's a whole box of parts down there. I got to go through all of that and figure out which parts I'm using, which ones are getting redone, which ones I don't need and can eventually sell. This whole box is all full of stuff. All of this stuff has to be refurbished, man. One thing, I was in such a rush to get the frame to the powder coater the other week and last week that I didn't even think to grab the motor mounts, the rear taillight bracket, and I think that's all that's going to go the color that I did the frame. But now that I'm thinking, I'm going to pull out the motor mounts and the taillight bracket, and I'm probably, I might do the motor mounts polished aluminum as well. This way they look like aluminum motor mounts. And I have 2 sets of motor mounts though, like the plates. So I'll probably, when I go pick up the frame, either A, ask them if I could buy a half a pound of whatever color I went with on the frame, and then I'll do the secondary mounts that I have here, that color. This way I have like a backup plan. Or I'll just leave the other motor mounts and stuff with them, and, you know, but then I won't have them in time. You know, this, you know, getting into a rush with stuff just does not help, man. You know, but I'm trying to be organized about it and do what I can, so. Alright, let me finish separating all this. I'll show you guys what's going what, and pick back up. Alright, so I chose to start with powder coating the skid plate first, just to, you know, get my bearings back. I don't powder coat every day. For any of you guys that are wondering, so I'm going to be using the Eastwood dual voltage gun. I already got my powder loaded up, and if you're wondering why I'm trying to do everything that's going one color at a time, it's because every time I switch colors I got to clean the gun out, and just a bunch of extra work, and it's easier to just get everything all set up. But for any of you guys that are also wondering, the media that I use in my sandblaster is from Tractor Supply. It's a crushed coal. They have a fine powder and a coarse powder. This is the fine powder. The coarse powder doesn't work too good. It just clogs the gun up, or at least the one that comes with these type of cabinets from Harbor Freight. Something about the crushed coal though. Do not breathe that stuff in, guys. Obviously you can see it does get aerated and come out of the cabinet like a lot. So I gotta go get new media actually and reseal this cabinet up because it's just blowing it out. It's not expensive. It's like $10 for a 50-pound bag. But you know, I'd like to keep it obviously in the cabinet. Spend enough money on this freaking hobby. But you should always wear a mask when you're sandblasting with this stuff, because breathing in coal dust could give you mesothelioma, or I think they call it miner's lung or black lung or something like that. Not good. But as of right now, I will soak this down in acetone, and then I will preheat the part in the oven. So when I'm powder coating, you always want to hang your part and do like a dry run to make sure you could pick this up and put it on the rack in the oven without damaging it or rubbing any of the powder off. And you want to make sure your grounding points are good. The Eastwood kit, if you buy the starter kit that comes with it, it comes with the stainless steel wire and silicone plugs and all kinds of stuff like that. Extra bottles for powder coat. So, alright. I'm going to do, like I said, soak this down, preheat it, and then I will have you guys with me while I spray the powder on this, and then I'll do the rest of the parts that are over there, if I could do this damn joystick on the gimbal, on my own time, and then I'll show you guys all this stuff done, and we'll end this video. Alright, I'll set you guys up on the tripod for the next one, but the oven just beeped. It's done preheating. This is with the first coat of aluminum, or polished aluminum powder coat on it. It's fully coated. I think one coat will be more than enough for on here, but I'm going to put my gloves on, put this in the oven, and I'll show it to you guys when it comes out, and then I'll set you up on the tripod and we'll do like the triple tree or something together. So as I just got done saying, make sure you can fit your part in the oven and you're all hung up and ready to go good. I go to put the front bracket on there and it slid right off the wire and got some friggin' landed on the door here, and oh man, you know. But anyway, there it is, first minute in the oven, 380 degrees. You know, sometimes it just can't win, man. You know, sometimes it's probably good to take my own advice, and I usually do, but you know, that was just something that happened. So it's all right. It's gonna get 2 coats anyway. It's gonna be the skid plate and it's the bottom. Nobody's really gonna see it anyway, but I'm sure there's going to be a bald spot of powder coat on the bottom now, so whatever. But I will do a second coat on it anyway. But actually, you know what? It'd be a good thing to show you guys. I'll put you on the tripod and you can see it's actually pretty cool. It comes out looking like, you know, the polished aluminum like the fork tube does. And then when it's hot and I spray the powder on there, you see it go on. It's got like that matte sheen to it, and then it like instantly melts and changes color. It's pretty cool. So I'll get you guys set up to where you can see how that looks as I'm spraying it on there. A little windy too, but you know, not the most ideal conditions for doing powder coat, but I don't know. I guess if I thought the conditions would be perfect for what I'm doing, I guess that would never happen, right? That's how my luck goes. But anyway, all right. About 15 minutes and we'll pick up. All right, let's see how we're looking. We are exactly 5 minutes in. Look at that. See, this is the shit that gets me excited, guys. Damn, look at that. All right, I'm gonna wait till 10 minutes and then I'll pull it out and put the second coat on. That's so satisfying, man. That's so satisfying. All right, so here we are out of the oven. I had to wait 2 minutes because the friggin' recycling truck was here and I didn't want you guys to hear that in the background. Looks like it really didn't mess up the powder wherever it hit, but no need for grounding on this right now because it's nice and hot, but I'll go ahead and dust another coat on this thing. Hope you guys can see that. It's pretty damn shiny. I'm just gonna really just go over it with a light dusting. Not gonna go too crazy. Let's see here. Sorry guys, it's hard to powder coat and hold the camera at the same time. Oh, that was good. Oh well. All right, now go over to the other side without getting our cords all tangled up. Oh, tripping over shit. That's cool. All right, that is good enough. I'm going to put this thing back in the oven and then she'll be done, man. Pieces are coming out fast, man. We got the lower fork tube for the left side of the bike, right? Yeah, left side. Skid plate came out pretty good, man. It's got scratches and stuff in it, obviously from being friggin' almost 40 years old, but other than that, looks pretty good. I just did the upper triple tree and the brackets for the axle and the handlebars are about to come out. That just went in, the triple tree. So we're looking pretty good, man. I'll get the rest of these pieces done and then we'll end day one, video one of the 350X build. All right, guys, so I got all the parts that I wanted to powder coat, the polished aluminum color done for the day. So, you know, I am by no means a professional powder coater, guys. I learn something new every time I do it. I honestly don't think there's anything that you could do that you'll ever know every trick and everything. You know what I mean? You're always learning. But you can get really good results in the garage. Like, same thing as painting, man. It's all in the prep. It's all in the prep. You got to use quality stuff, too. Like, any powder that I use is from Prismatic. I don't use any other powder coat. I know there's going to be a couple of you in the comments that are going to say, oh, you should try this. Save your typing, because I'm not switching brands. I like Prismatic powders. I've tried the other ones, and, you know, I always get the best results with these. I mean, you can get good results with the other ones, too. I'm not saying you can't, but, you know, going from parts that look like this, having parts that look like this by the end of the day, definitely satisfying, man. These things are shiny as all hell. Shiny as all hell. There's skid plate down there. I'm going to leave you guys with that. So this was day one. Come back tomorrow and check out what we do on day two. Thanks for joining me in the garage today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!